Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Hello,
Welcome
everybody.
back.
Hi.
Welcome back to Across the Waves. How you guys been?
Hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing today? Everybody's doing good? We're ready for the show today?
Yes, we are.
All right. So tonight we have Cruising with Keith. We have Alice from Alice Lugo Studio, and we have Mike and Rihanna Adventures today. So really quickly, let's say hello to everybody on the chat before we get started. First on the chat today was Eddie Lugo Studio. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Hello,
Um,
Eddie.
hello, right? Hello, hello. And we have A Music Channel. Welcome in. Cruising is fun. Hey, Miss Cheryl and Jeremy, how you guys doing? We have MSOCV Donna. Hello, welcome in. Hello, Eddie Lugo Studio saying hi to Cheryl. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the Port of Vancouver. So let's get this party started. So I'll be taking first row on the Port of Vancouver today with your history. So here we all go. Well, hello, everybody. Good afternoon, or actually, good evening. So, today we're going to be talking about the Port of Vancouver. And one of the great things that I found out, because I've never been to Canada or the Port of Vancouver, it's kind of like really cool when you hear, when you read about the history of this port and, all its glory. And it's so pretty out there. One day I would like to go and visit myself to Canada and go to Vancouver. It looks really nice. It has a lot of history, and I wanted to bring you this information here today. As of you guys know, the Port of Vancouver is was founded by George Vancouver, and Mr. George Vancouver. Let me pull up some information here. This is Mr. George Vancouver. He was born in June 22 of 1757. He was the King Ling in that area, and he passed away in May 10th of 1796. So he lived a long time, and I want to tell you a little bit about Captain George Vancouver. He was a British Royal Navy officer, best known for his 1791 and 1795 expedition, which explored and chartered North America northeastern Pacific coast region, including the coast of what are now Canadian province of British Columbia, as well as United States of Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and California. The expedition also explored the Hawaiian Islands and southwest of coast of Australia. The Vancouver Island, the city of Vancouver in British Columbia, Vancouver River on the Sunshine Coast of British Columbia, and Vancouver, Washington in the United States, Mount Vancouver on the Canadian-US border between Yukon and Alaska, and New Zealand's fourth highest mountain, also Mount Vancouver, are all named after Mr. George Vancouver. Can you believe that? That's just an amazing thing to know that all these places, were named after him. As we continue our history journey here today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the prior formation of the new authority. There were three separate port authorities in the Metro of Vancouver region: the Port of Vancouver, which was the largest port in Canada, the Fraser River Port Authority, and the North Fraser Port Authority. The Vancouver Port Authority was responsible for the Port of Vancouver, which was the largest port in Canada in the Pacific Northwest. The port has 25 major terminals. The port has began operations with the opening of the pier in 1923, and in 2005, the port handled 79.4 million tons of cargo, 1.8 million containers, 910,000 cruise passenger, and 2,677 foreign vessels. The authority was responsible for 223 coastline from the Vancouver to Canada, United States border. The Fraser River Port Authority was created in 1913 to manage ports along the Fraser River. It was the second largest port in Vancouver and extended along the main arm of the river eastward to the Fraser Valley at Kanaka Creek. Hopefully, I didn't mess up that word. And north along the Pitt River to Pitt Lake. The port jurisdiction of 270 kilometers of the short line that border 9 different municipalities in the lower mainland. The North Fraser Port Authority was incorporated in 1913 and the North Fraser Harbor Commissioners. It was the smallest of the 3 ports and was located on the north arm of the Fraser River from the University of British Columbia to New Westminster. Minster. The traffic of the port mainly consisted of logs and wood fiber. The port covered around 920 of acres of the land and water lots of handle near the 18 million tons of cargo in 2004. So could you imagine they have 3 ports and all this something completely different. If we continue to move forward, the responsibility of the Vancouver port is managed by the Vancouver Fraser Port Authority, formerly called Port Metro. Vancouver was created with the responsibility of stewardship of the federal port lands and around Vancouver, British Columbia. It was created as a financially self-sufficient company and is accountable for the federal Minister of Transportation and operates the Canada Marine Act. The Port Authority and port terminals and tenants are responsible for the efficient and reliable movement of goods, passenger, integrating environmental, social, economic sustainability into all areas of the port operation. I will show you some of the pictures that I found, what it used to look like back in the time when they first started. This is one of the pictures I found. And also, this is what it looked like from the other side of looking into the port. And as well as this is what the port used to look like with their first cruise ships with people on it. So just to give you some information about these ports, it's just amazing how it has the innovation of today's, how different things have been when it comes to how big these ports are and how many people have traveled through these ports. And, according to the information here, it's like the major initiatives, the container capacity improvement programs in the port long-term strategy to meet anticipated growth in container, which is expected to triple by 2030. That's how big these ports are getting. The program consists of projects that both improve the efficiency of the existing infrastructure and explore opportunities to build new infrastructure as demand rises. The CCIP projects include Delta Port Terminals Road and rail improvement projects, and those proposed by Robert Bank Terminal 2 project. So as you can see, by the time 2030 comes, this port of Vancouver is going to continue to grow. Just to give you a little bit of information, in 2014, the Port of Vancouver was the 4th largest port by tonnage in America, 29th in the world in terms of the total cargo, and 44th in the world by container traffic. The port enables the trade approximately 240 billion in goods. Port activity sustained in 115,300 jobs, 7 billion in wages, and 11.9 billion in GPD across Canada. So that's the information that I have for you guys for the Port of Authority. And I'm going to pass it on now to Miss Alice Lugo Studio. And she's going to come and talk to you about around the port.
Hi Hi, everybody. Before I get started with Around the Port, I'd like to just say hello to a few more people that have joined us. Hello to Moon Sea Channel and Cruising is Fun Anytime. We also have Tuba Chat, Connect and Grow. Hi, Donna. And Joanne Kay has joined us. We have Ross from Orange Cone Vlog, Embarkation Nation, and let's see who else. Jeremy and Cheryl from Cruise Adventures. Emily 74. Hello, Emily. And okay, I think I got everybody. Tuba Chat, Connect and Grow. Did I say hello to Kevin? Hi, Kevin. All right, so now Around the Port. So why should you go to Vancouver? Well, if you want to go to Alaska, that is one of the ports that is designed to go to Alaska. Very close by, and you could, fly straight in. The airport's not too far from Vancouver, and there's about 100,000 cruise passengers that come through Port Vancouver each year. And a lot of them will extend their stays before or after the cruise because there is so much to do in Vancouver. And for more than 30 years, Vancouver has been a leading home port for the Alaska cruises and acts as the home port for one-way and round-trip cruises through the scenic Inside Passage, a stunning coastal route that runs along the west coast of British Columbia. Cruises to Alaska are every year from late April through September. And it's the top-rated port destination, is the home base for many cruise ships during the summer season, and has around 290 ship calls every single year. And its northern location, excellent amenities, and natural beauty make it a popular base for cruise lines offering one-way and round-trip Alaska cruises. Jackie, can you put up the cruise port photo? There we go. So that's a picture of the cruise port. And inside, you see it looks like white kind of tents there. That is the Canada place. And it has a lot of things in there to see, restaurants and shops and everything. There's also a visitor center that's nearby. And I have a picture of with information on the visitor center. So if you need help planning activities in Vancouver, or you're looking for lunch or dinner suggestions, you can go to the visitor center. It's open 7 days a week from 9 to 4 Pacific Standard Time. And after hours, you could leave a message and they get back to you. So there's some contact information there. If you're planning to go to Vancouver, you could take a picture of this and have it available. There's public transportation information and just general information. They also have the ferries. So these are good phone numbers and websites to have to help you get around in Vancouver. And we also have information. There's accessibility access. And like I said in previous videos, I like to look into that because my husband does use a walker. And so it's nice to know if they do. And also you can make arrangements with access, accessible transportation for disabilities. You can do a scooter, rent a scooter. And we're not up to that one yet. You could rent a scooter and take it around so that you can easily travel to see the different things in the port of Vancouver. Now, if you have your luggage and you get there early, you might want to put it in storage. Well, at the Canada Palace Cruise Terminal, they have availability for short-term luggage storage for cruise passengers. And so this information here, they have the phone number 1-877-451-1777. It's located within the terminal, and it's open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And you could leave your luggage there, explore Vancouver, and then get your stuff and get onto the cruise. Or if you're coming off the ship, store it there for a little bit. Maybe you have a later flight or something, and you could store your luggage as you look around Vancouver, and then pick up your luggage and head to the airport. So it's like $7 a bag or something like that. So it's pretty decent price, and it's a good amenity to have. So so like I said, you can rent a scooter and travel around. You could grab a quick meal to eat at the cruise terminal. There's a variety of restaurants and cafes within walking distance to Canada Place. There's also a food court in the lower level of the waterfront center adjacent to Canada Place. So if you like taking a little stroll, or if you rent the scooter, or you're in a wheelchair, you could easily go on the waterfront and just enjoy, the view from the waterfront. And they also have, if you're traveling with maybe a dog, support dog, they do have what they call service pet relief stations at the cruise port. And there's 2 of them there, and it's for the documented service animals that's traveling with cruise passengers. There's an outdoor service pet relief area. It's located pre-security on the cruise ship level of Canada Place. And there's a lot of signage around, so you know exactly where to go. And there's also a pet relief area available in the secured area of the terminal after you have already cleared security. And again, just follow the directions and signage so that you can have your dog going in a place where it's allowed to go. The cruise port itself is located in downtown Vancouver, and it's in the just a few steps from the terminal. You'll find hotels, a conference center, shops, restaurants, and sculptures and city attractions. Will you show there you go. So this is a map of downtown, and on the in the middle, right in the middle, is where the cruise port is. And I don't have the key for all of the colored little squares and stuff, but you could see quite a few little diagrams there showing you, so you can see that there's a whole lot of stuff that you can do in and around the port that is walking distance. So if you like to take a walk, you could begin your journey by walking down the Canadian Trail that runs along the west promenade of Canada Place, and it leads directly from the street to fly over Canada's entrance at the end of the pier, all while taking you on a unique walk across the different locations in Canada. So in Flyover Canada, it's like a flight simulator ride. And I've done that in New York where, it's like you're zooming through downtown Manhattan and everything, and it's a lot of fun. So they have one of those in Canada, right across the street from the cruise terminal. And after your flight, the options are infinite. You could visit one of the many fantastic restaurants in the area. You could walk to nearby Gastown, or you could take a leisurely stroll along the water to Stanley Park. And I believe Mike and Rihanna will be sharing some information on those 2 places. Okay, so if you like art, there is like a 3-minute walk from the Vancouver cruise terminal, and they have exhibits and fairs and events in the main plaza. And so as you take your walk, you'll come to Harbor Green Park. And you could, walk around there, sit down, relax. But along your walk, you will run into a couple sculptures. And the first one is called The Drop. And there you see it. It looks like a drop of rain or a drop, I don't know. So the other item that you'll see in this park, the other sculpture, is the digital ochre. So it kind of looks like a Lego statue or something. And it looks pretty neat. And, they have other things around in the park too. So just feel free to explore. It's very safe to travel around Vancouver. It ranks as a very safe city for visitors. There are, of course, some minor crimes that are reported in Vancouver, but serious crimes are extremely rare, especially for tourists. The rapid transit, buses, and taxis are all rated as low risk. Muggings and kidnappings are almost unheard of, and terrorism is unlikely, although it can never be ruled out. The risk of scams is low, although there is a small risk of pickpockets on crowded streets and along the waterfront. So overall, by taking sensible precautions with valuables, every visitor will find Vancouver, BC, a very safe and beautiful city to visit. Keep your wallet in your front pockets, not behind you in your back pocket. Hold on to your purses. Just have a good time, but pay attention to what's around you. The best time to visit Vancouver, BC, weather-wise, is in the summer, when you can enjoy the attractions and beautiful scenery in warm, sunny weather. Spring and fall are good times to visit, as the city attractions are less crowded than in the summer. So if you don't like a lot of crowds, go in the fall. But the rainiest months are in April, because April showers bring May flowers, right? That's what they say. And then, of course, summer and October is the rainiest months. The down season is from November to mid-March, when days are cold and short. However, winter is much warmer in Vancouver than the rest of Canada, and it is close to the ski slopes around Whistler for those who want a mild winter escape in Vancouver. So, there's plenty to do, easy to get around. You have the rapid transit, or you could rent a scooter and put your luggage in storage and just explore the beautiful Vancouver. And then afterwards, enjoy an Alaska cruise. And, when you come back, put your stuff in storage and explore again if you want to, before you trip back to wherever it is you live. So I hope you're considering going. And now we are going to have Mike and Rihanna join us and let us know about some attractions away from the ports that you could visit as well.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming in to watch this week's show. As you all know, Mike is actually from BC.
Yep.
So this is kind of exciting for him.
Yep.
He gets to talk about his
My hometown.
homeland.
My homeland.
It's your homeland. It's your homeland.
Yeah. Yeah.
You grew up around Vancouver.
Yep.
So you know quite a bit of what's going on. And Alice did a great job on
What's around port?
saying what's around the port. Tinkerbell, great history lesson for everyone. Actually, there's some stuff I didn't know.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And I'm sure Keith will have some really good news coming up after we're done here. So we do have some new people in the chat.
Yep.
So instead of us going through the whole, because there's been a lot of people that have come in, but everyone who's new in the chat, welcome in. Thank you for coming to watch. It is greatly appreciated. So first thing we're going to talk about is Granville Island. So don't know if there's any beer drinkers out there. But if you are a beer drinker, you may have heard of Granville Brewery. Now there's so many different beers and everything that they make. I could just go on and on and on and on about all the different beer. But that's not really what we're here for.
Well, did we have a picture? If Tinkerbell want to put the picture up for us, then that's a distillery.
That's the distillery. Sorry. There we go. No, that's the market.
We'll go with the market.
We'll go with the market. We'll stay there.
Okay.
So we'll jump over to the market.
So there's
that's
a farmer's market there that has all like local goods that you can buy, like
basically farmer's market.
basically farmer's market.
So fresh produce and
Bakery,
people's wares like jewelry, stuff like that. All that kind of stuff can be found in there. So definitely something that you should check out. It's you can see a whole bunch of different
and
things.
there's all these old, I guess, rail buildings that or it's basically on a rail yard basically, and it's all these different buildings that they used. They turned them into farmers markets and other restaurants and stuff like that too. So
it's kind of interesting to go and see. I mean, I haven't been there, but I do want to check it out.
And to get there, you have to take a ferry from Vancouver to Granville Island, or you can drive there too as well.
Really a long drive.
Yeah, and there's a ferry called False Creek Ferries if you want to go check that out too.
So back to the brewery. There's, like I said, so many different beers. Definitely go check. I'm sure people in the States have Canadian beer at their liquor stores.
Maybe.
But anyways, gotta check them out. Some of them are very, very, very good.
Yep.
So with the brewery, there's also the distillery.
Yep.
So distillery, different kinds of hard liquor, stuff like that. They have restaurants inside.
Yep.
These,
Tons of restaurants.
so that you can go and sit down. You can try the different
If you want to show the picture of
spirits
this,
and everything. That
there's outdoor seating along the what's it called?
road.
Not the road. The river. Well, the harbor. Pardon.
The harbor.
The
There
harbor.
we
That's
go.
what. The harbor. That's what I'm getting at. Sorry. So lots of restaurants around the harbor, and you can sit and enjoy downtown Vancouver.
So definitely a nice way to spend an afternoon.
Yeah.
So whether you're just getting off the ship and you want to go and check it out, you can.
Yep.
If you're there just to spend the day before going onto the ship, before you head to Alaska, possibly.
Yep.
And stay tuned, that is coming up in a few weeks as well.
Yes.
So yeah, you can check out all that stuff there. It doesn't have to be just through the cruise. It can be
I know.
on your own. But like Alice said, just be safe.
Yep.
It's like anywhere else you go. Always worry about yourself, protect yourself. And
Yep.
So next we're gonna move down to
Gastown.
Gastown.
Oh, that's cool.
So here, along with lots of nightlife and everything like that, there's restaurants, there's nightclubs, all that.
Shopping.
But what is really cool is what they call
Steam
a
clock.
steam clock. Now, do we have the video coming
Yes.
up?
Can we play the video of Tinkerbell? This is a really cool video.
So
We're
this
gonna
is
show you guys.
actually the steam clock right here. But Okay, so that is the steam clock. So it comes on every 15 minutes. And when you're down there, you'll know that you're around it because everyone's standing around.
Yeah, everybody gathers around it every 15 minutes and takes all the tourists and everything go to this clock at every 15 minutes. And you'll see this clock go off every 15 minutes. So, and it's all done by steam. So, yeah.
Not that this is something that we want to bring up, but also, and I'm sure Keith is going to touch on this as well, closer to the evening, you're going to find more of the homeless population down there because it puts off steam and it's heat.
Yeah.
So probably not the best time to go watch it downtown or down there is at night, but regardless, you're still going to be fine. So yeah, you can check that out. Go check out the nightlife if you're down there during
the day. Even at night.
Nightlife is nighttime, Mike. So check out the bars, the nightclubs, all that. If you're there during the day, go check out some restaurants. Really good food down there.
Well,
basically, whatever you want, you're going to find it. Really.
Cafes,
so
shops.
That's really cool. Definitely a good way to spend an afternoon, evening, even a day. So, do you want to go deal with that, please? So after that, something else that you can do, and Alice did touch on this just briefly, is you can go check out Stanley Park. So in Stanley Park, you're going to find an aquarium.
Yes.
Which has everything you want to see for sea life and all that
Except
kind of
for
stuff.
killer whales, because they got rid of the killer whales a few years ago.
I think most aquariums and stuff are going away from that now because everyone's so much into animal rights and stuff like that, and it's not really fair to have them captured and cooped up. But everything else is there. You're going to have a great time, and everyone's very knowledgeable in there. If you have questions, take photos.
And to touch on that as well, there used to be a Vancouver Zoo there years ago with monkeys and all that kind of stuff.
Animals.
Yeah, zoo animals, basically.
So yeah, you can also take some trolley rides down there. There's a train.
Yep, a little train that goes around the park.
So that if you don't really want to walk, you can jump on this little train, jump on the trolleys, and it'll take you around.
There's also a seawall where you can walk around the whole park along the harbor. Takes you all around the whole park.
Is that the picture right there? Yeah. Okay, so that is the seawall. So you want to see a great sunset, go there.
Yes.
Canadian sunsets, if you're in the right areas, are beautiful. Yeah. Definitely something that you don't want to miss out. So now, the big thing that you want to go check out at Stanley Park. I'm going to let Mike talk about this one because it's something that he really enjoys. And this is the one thing that he really, really, really wanted to talk about tonight. So take it away.
Okay, so at 9 o'clock at night, every night, they have this, I guess, a gun that goes off.
It's kind of looks like it's on a barge.
Yes, it's on a little barge. And this thing goes off at 9 o'clock at night, and you would hear it. And we actually have a video clip of this gun going off. So this gun goes off at 9 o'clock at night, and you can hear it throughout all of downtown Vancouver. You know when this thing goes off. It echoes.
You know when it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So also here, if you are going anywhere, you will have Canadian dollars.
Yes, it's all Canadian dollars.
I'm pretty sure you can there's some places where you can probably do an exchange and everything like that, but we have Canadian dollars.
Yep.
So we have for dollar bills, it's not really a dollar bill. We have the $5 bill, the $10 bill, the 20, the 50, and the 100.
1 second. We're going to show you.
Oh yes, we actually have some of it here that we can show you guys what it looks like. So this is kind of cool. So Mike is just grabbing that. And then we have the nickels, dimes, quarters. We don't do pennies anymore, surprisingly. So don't worry about pennies. But then our dollar, we got rid of the paper money for that. And it is a loonie. So it's a little gold colored coin. with balloon on it. And then we also have a toonie, which is $2, and it's got a picture of a polar bear in the center of it. So we're gonna start with.
This is our loonie,
I wonder if I have a toonie on me, just so we can show them.
and this is also our $5 bill here in Canada. A lot of people don't know what this is, but yeah, that's our $5 bill. And then
Also, you'll hear that it's Monopoly money.
yeah, and this is $20 bill.
We do have a 10. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
And our bills go up to about 100.
There are bigger ones, but you never see them. I'm gonna see if I do have a toonie. I don't think I do. I do not. I only have a loony. So, and we already saw that.
Okay.
So, just a little, so you know what you're kind of getting in
And
your
if you're here during the summer, you also can go to the Pacific National Exhibition,
peony.
PNE, and it's a big fair they have here. Well, there's also restaurants in Stanley Park. There's one called the Stanley Park Bar and Grill, and the next picture she's going to take going to show us. Yes, that is Prospect Point, and it's a lookout thing, and right there is actually a restaurant there too as well.
Do you feel like you're back home?
Yes, I do.
So,
yeah, let's talk about the PNE. So PNE is a big, huge, like 2-3 weeks of fair that they have here in Vancouver, with rides and music acts and everything coming in.
it's a big thing to do in the summer.
Yep.
And yes, summer is beautiful down there.
Yep.
Winter,
Mm.
well, you can come check out hockey.
Yep.
There's the Vancouver Canucks. So if you're spending some time there.
And if you're into football, go watch the BC Lions.
Yeah, so even if it's not directly linked to the cruise,
There's lots to do.
and if this is how you are after the cruise and you're going to spend some time there, check out all this stuff.
Yep.
If you're getting there a couple days early before you go on your cruise, check out all this stuff.
Yep.
There is so much, like, honestly, we could probably go on for hours about what you can do in Vancouver and surrounding cities and towns and stuff like that. But for the cruise, this is definitely something that you kind of want to check out. So hopefully you've enjoyed all this.
Oh, is there a
And-
Canadian hockey? Yes, there is.
Yes. We'll stop on that really quickly.
That's
There
pretty
is the CHL,
yes.
known as Canadian Hockey League. There's also the WHL, which is Western Hockey League. And
The Ontario Hockey League.
there's Ontario and all that. But if you're in BC, Vancouver does have a team in the WHL. We cheer for WHL here,
Yes.
but that's besides the point. But yeah, there's hockey, there's everything
Football, soccer,
you can
baseball.
want to check out. So yeah, if you're worried that you're not going to find much to do,
Yeah,
you're
lots
going to
to
find
do.
a lot to do. And yeah, so we're going to throw it over to Keith, and he'll be able to tell you some news and stuff like that. And hopefully you'll come visit us in Canada.
Yeah.
Take it away, Keith.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the news part. So, welcome to the Port of Vancouver. The minimum wage here is $16.75 an hour, and currently there are no ships docked right now, obviously because the season is over, and the season will resume in April. And I think the last ship was like the first week of October, and that's what happened there. The gas prices is $1.68. You think it's cheap, right? But no, here's the trick. It's per liter. So technically, it'll probably come out to somewhere around like $7 a gallon. So it's actually, it's expensive, right? Compared to New York, where it's like, where we're all complaining, where it's like $3.70, or like, oh, the gas is expensive here. Go up to Canada, so you're gonna find some real expensive gases. So the weather today's high was a 49 and the low was a 42 Fahrenheit. Celsius, that's 9 and 6 in the Celsius. So let's get to the news now. Vancouver City Manager Eric Holmes declared a civil emergency in response to the growing homeless rising activities in the camps, which is 48 acres of public property. So you can see from these tents here. So over here you see there's a lot of homeless there. It's rising, and I mean it's a sad situation going on, but also what the police are worried about is there's also some people going in there. They're acting like they're homeless, but really they're just going in there to do some criminal activities, drugs, drinking, and maybe even try to harm some of these people who are homeless. So that's something that the police out there are aware of. But homeless is everywhere. So just when you go to some of these places, not just Vancouver, all ports, always, like, for men, keep your wallet in the front. Don't try not to put nothing in your back pocket. And for the women's, like the purses, keep that in front of you. And like a book bag, I know you have that in back, but maybe try to find a book bag that has a pocket that's in the back of the book bag that's against your back, so that people can't just take like valuable stuff if you choose to leave stuff in there. So now let's get to number 2, right? So the Port of Vancouver is expected to have 1.25 million cruise passengers this year. That's a 54% increase from 2022, which is a good sign, obviously, because that's more money for the Vancouver, for the people that live there. And that means that's more cruises going to Vancouver. So this year we had 332 cruise ship calls compared to 307 visits in 2022, which is a 9% increase. But this is really good, since now Alaska has been coming as like the holy grail of cruises, right? And Alaska obviously is not a cheap cruise either. So so on top of that, is it doing Alaska, which always leaves from Vancouver, or obviously the other port, Seattle, but Vancouver is a big port to go to Alaska. That means it's going to get a lot of people going there, because a lot of times you're taking these cruises and people flying from the East Coast to the West Coast. They're not going to go to Vancouver the day of. They might go like a day before or 2 days before. So that's more money going into the economy in Vancouver, and that's going to try to help jobs and maybe keep some of these homeless people off the streets, where they can actually make a living and do good in life for themselves, right? So that's number 2. And number 3, getting there right now. In July of this year, there was a strike by the ILW, which is the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. There were about 7,500 workers picketing for 13 days at 2 ports. At the end of August, a deal was reached, which is good until July 1st, 2028. This is good because there was a threat at the time, and which I did make a video about, that there were threats that the cruise ports would close down. And the strike wasn't just in Vancouver; they even had it in Alaska. So this union is a big union on the West Coast. I think it goes all the way down to like Washington, maybe even down to California. So it's a really, really big union. And obviously, me being a union worker, I support all them doing that, because I believe you should always fight for what you think that you deserve to be paid for. I mean, that's my honest opinion. And that's basically all the cruise news. I know there wasn't too much news this week, right? I mean, I looked, but that's basically all the cruise news. I'm going to pass it over to Tinkerbell. So thank you, everybody. And we are all back.
We are all back again. A great big family. So hopefully you guys like today's information on Vancouver. I have posted, if you guys had any questions, to put them on the comments. We still have another 15 minutes to answer any questions you may have, whether news, excursion, around the port, or even history. So it's it's really nice to hear all the different information from all of you guys. I had a great time. I learned a lot from Alice, from Mike and Rihanna, showing all the stuff around Vancouver. I've never been, but I'm like, man, I want to go back. I want to go and check it out.
Yeah, that clock is interesting, you know.
I know. I'm gonna have to call Mike and Rihanna because I collect dollar bills, and those were pretty cool.
No, the
Maybe.
first thing I thought, I was like, how is that going to fit in my wallet? Obviously, you need a bigger wallet.
You might also hear people refer to our money as Monopoly money because they went and made it like a really thick plastic so that it lasts longer. So people refer to it as Monopoly money because of all the bright colors and everything like that.
Right.
So, what we didn't have here was a 10, and that one is a purpley kind of color.
Or 100.
Okay.
The 50 is a reddish color, and
The 100
is
brown.
a brownish gray kind of color.
Okay.
So, Monopoly money.
So I have a question for Mike and Rihanna. So the money is equivalent to like kind of like United States, like $1 is $1 over there, or how does that work?
Well, our dollar is worth less than what your dollar is.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a bit of an exchange rate. Depending on the day too. Like, give me 2 seconds here. I'm actually going to Google this just to see so that people can find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get with you guys. So when I see Mike and you next year in the Boost Cruise, we can exchange some money over here. And for those of you that don't know, since we're talking about next year's Boost Cruise, Eddie Lugo and Alice Lugo Studios, they're hosting a Boost Cruise coming out of Tampa, Florida, on the Paradise, October 28th. And all of us, I don't know if Keith, are you coming?
No, I'm not gonna be.
No, okay, so it's all of us from top and bottom. Eventually, we'll get Keith on it, so you guys can meet the whole across the wave, team.
Yeah, we definitely have to get one to go.
Definitely, you got to get with your wife and see maybe you guys can join us for that time. I know you're coming over to Tampa this month.
Yeah. So, actually, was it 3 weeks? 2 weeks just. 2 weeks.
So get with me. I'll send you my information so you can get with me so we can meet.
Yeah. After the show, I'll talk to you about it.
So I'm just going to interrupt here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So Canadian dollar to US dollar as of right now equals our Canadian dollars were 73 cents American.
Wow. That's a big difference.
It is. And tomorrow it could be worth 70 cents or it could be up to 75 cents. It changes, honestly, several times a day.
Yep.
So it fluctuates. Okay.
Yep.
The other thing I do want to just touch on really, really quick, Keith was talking about gas prices. So I have a little figuration on my phone just to kind of figure out comparisons because we know a lot of Americans now. So, roughly for the $1.68 that you had quoted, that would be roughly $5 a gallon in the U.S.
Wow.
Give or take.
Okay.
Yeah, because
there's always a big, because we use liters and you use gallons, and so that there's a lot to kind of.
That's pretty neat.
And all that. So.
And here's a tidbit: I'm half American too.
That's because when you think about it, if your dollar is less than the American dollar, like it's even more expensive if you think about it to put gas over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I drive just a Ford Escape, and not completely full. It was $75 for me to fill my vehicle.
Jeez.
So I'm not quite sure how it would convert to gallons and everything like that. But for me, in liters, it was $75 to fill it.
Okay.
So it's a lot of conversions. And same with like temperatures. We're Celsius, where you guys are Fahrenheit.
Right.
So we're learning that too, because you guys all know Fahrenheit and you don't really know Celsius. So we have to kind of figure it out, which is good. Everyone gets to learn different things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Joanne K just says it's worse than New York. It really is. See, like,
Yeah.
see, we sometimes don't understand how, some people how they live, but that's how this is what Across the Wave does. It's like it brings you information from different places and you get to learn like how we're learning on the same time as you guys are learning because everybody's bringing something different.
Yeah.
Em is saying that here in New York, it's money cost to fill our tanks too. Yeah. So it's just like I just put when I went on my cruise last week, our gas was like about $3 and something, and if my at least I drive an SUV, so it took $98 to fill it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a little bit expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
gas prices are dropping right now in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
good.
mine is premium, so I got to do premium, and it's almost
Okay.
$4. So I think the regular I think is like $2.94. I think if I'm not mistaken, something like that at Costco right now.
Wow. That's a lot cheaper than over here. I think over here it's like $3.80.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah,
Yeah,
it costs a
always
lot.
try to
And
fill up at a Costco or something like that because it will get you definitely cheaper. It's here where we live, it's about 10 cents difference. So it does add up.
Well, when I
Then,
went to Aruba last week, it had it at $224 and some change, but I don't know what their exchange is. So I really couldn't figure out, that information. But yeah, it took me by surprise, 224 and then 0.29. And I was trying to figure out what is their exchange or what is their, how do they, is it, and it was like by the liter too.
Whew.
So.
That's not cheap.
I mean, a lot of stuff is, yes, I mean, it could cost you $75 to $100 to fill up, depending on what you have. And then up here, the tolls. Like my wife's got to take a toll every day to go to work. So
In
she's
Vancouver,
paying
they have
toll.
toll booths too on their bridges.
A lot
Well,
of bigger cities will have it.
Joanne is saying that when she went to Canada recently, our tour guide was encouraging everybody to move there because housing is way different than in New York.
No.
Yes and no.
That was in St. John's, Canada. So
Vancouver, it's like $1 million homes.
Vancouver is very, very, very
Very
expensive. Larger cities, very expensive. For us, we're probably half the price
of Vancouver.
of what, say, Calgary would be for a home. So we'd be a quarter of the price of what they are in Vancouver.
Vancouver is about $1 million homes.
Jeez.
Even to get like an apartment, you're looking at like $800,000 if you're buying it or more, and that's for like maybe a 1 or 2 bedroom.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's definitely not cheap.
No, that's not cheap.
Groceries definitely not cheap anymore, but I think that's everywhere now.
That's everywhere.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
But yeah.
That's
there is no Toys R Us in Canada.
Well, for them, what about a Kmart? Because they love Kmart.
We did have a Kmart, but it actually went under.
I don't think there is Kmart in Canada anymore, actually.
Yeah, I don't think Kmart's are anywhere anymore.
No.
We used to go down to a little place in Montana, and they did have a Kmart, but that even closed. So I don't think Kmart's around anymore.
Yeah, we don't have. At least we don't have them in Florida that I know of.
No, but you have a Buc-ee's.
Yep.
I betcha.
Yes, we do. We have 2.
We have 9. I want to
There's
see
one
it.
in Orlando, right?
Why don't you try those beaver nuggets?
I know. I'm gonna have to probably go to Daytona when it's closer for you guys to come over, and I'll do the drive over there, and then I'll bring you some beaver nuggets. Unless we do an excursion, all of us, and then we go to Buc-ee's. We could do that too.
Live stream from Buc-ee's.
I know that would be a great excursion.
We stopped at Buc-ee's on our drive to New Orleans and picked up some beaver nuggets for Two different creators
Clocks and Rob.
for Clock and Rob from Cruising
It's the high seas.
the High Seas.
Eddie picked up the whole Bucky store. I bet you look at his luggage, he still has some beaver nuggets somewhere in there.
So,
I didn't care for them.
he didn't care for them.
Yeah, I don't like them either. I don't know what I don't know what the big thing is, but I don't like them
Yeah.
either. So
When we all get together, we're gonna have to do some kind of like exchange or something. We'll bring Canadian food down for you to try, and
I know,
all
right?
that. It's gonna be fun.
Look, Mr. Tinkerbell just heard you. He's like,
Well, we now got nerd clusters.
Finally,
Okay.
and like we have Smarties up here, which is different from what you have down in the States. So there's weird little things that are little different, and our rockets are what I think are chocolate for you guys down there, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. It's so confusing, all the different little things. And
Right.
I think when you go like to Vancouver, if you're going on a cruise, definitely you're going to find a lot of things there if you're from the States that are different.
Right. That'll be cool if they actually put a Buc-ee's in Canada. That'll be awesome.
It won't be near me, I guarantee it.
Look, Muncie Channel saying that somebody brought her beaver nuggets on the vloggers cruise. She doesn't remember who it was, but somebody did.
Mm.
Well, I mean, the one thing about Canada, when we every time I went to St. John's, you could get like fresh like maple syrup, and the maple is totally different than the one you get like at the supermarket. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you could taste the difference.
They even have like beaver tails, right, over there?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Timbit.
they actually had it in St. John's. They have a little like beaver tail truck
Okay.
right at the port.
It's very similar to like an elephant ear.
Right.
So very similar to that, but obviously beavers are on our money.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to call it a beaver tail.
M is saying that she's drinking rose since you're having a drink cruising with Keith. And also she said that she saw how the maple was made in Canada.
Yeah.
So
They,
that must be really cool.
they gave us an explanation. I forgot. My wife probably remembers, like on how long it takes, to make the maple syrup out of the tree and how much they get out of each tree. It was crazy.
That must be really cool to see, something like that. But good night, Joanne. Thank you so much for coming.
What's a beaver tail?
But well, yeah, I know what's a beaver tail. we should have brought a picture of a beaver tail. But we're almost done with our show here tonight. We have one more minute, so I'm not sure. Let me see. I'm surprised we're getting Buc-ee's in Dayton, Ohio next year. Oh, well, that's a good thing. That is a really good thing. But we're getting ready to leave our show here tonight. I just wanted to say thank you so much for our panel here today. Thank you so much for being here. We enjoy bringing you this kind of content. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Does anybody else have anything else to say before we leave?
Well, next week we're gonna do the Port of San Juan.
That's right.
So that's.
So come back next week on Wednesday at 8:00. We're talking about the Port of San Juan, which is one of Eddie Lugo's favorite ports. Because if you guys know, and if you don't know, Alice Lugo Studio. What do you have, Alice Lugo Studio, coming in 2025 in January?
A Caribbean Conquest.
That's right.
Where's
it coming out of?
We're cruising out of Puerto Rico on the NCL Viva.
On the Port of San Juan.
Port of San Juan.
And it has 8 ports of calls.
So he says. We're going to the ABC Islands and St. Kitts, St. Lucia, and Punta Cana.
And then back to San Juan.
And then back to San Juan.
That's right. So, guys, stay tuned next week because we're going to be talking about the Port of San Juan and all its glory. So I appreciate all of you guys for coming in. We love you all to the moon and back. And I guess we'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.